you're still in here.
I'm still here.
You,
My wall changed.
This is it did. So I left like you told me to.
Yeah.
And I came back and you're still in here, but it does look like you've done a few things aesthetically. What did you do back there?
Well, I did a little color swap, did a little shirt change. I think you did a shirt change, wardrobe change. So, if we're going to stay in these spaces all the time, we have to at least have a couple shirts laying around.
Right. Yes, for continuity and all the things, the different things. Well, cool. Well, this is so you're going to follow through on the promise.
I'm in. I'm here.
I know. I'm sure you felt very guilted into it, but
Totally.
we do appreciate nonetheless. So we have an episode today. I got in here to do an episode.
Oh yeah, and I'm here to do it too. I'm ready
to do an episode. Are you ready? You saw what my preparation was last time.
I have more than a Post-it note with 2 words on it.
I officially have nothing. I have this. I have a drink to stay fresh. So, all right. Well, let's get into it. Let's meet with the guest.
Jump in. Yeah. Who are we meeting with again? Just kidding.
You'll see.
No.
Yeah, just
look at this. Look at this prep. I am so ready.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I guess you do know. Okay.
Yeah.
All
let's
right.
jump in.
Let's get in.
And we are live with the PEO Speedwagon Podcast. I am your host, Heather Applegate, here with my co-host, Ryan Shapiro. And today we have Adam Robin joining us today from Inbox Zero. Welcome, Adam.
Hey, Heather. Hey, Ryan. Nice to be here.
Yeah. It's good to see you, bud.
So glad you're here to join us today. This is really exciting to get to talk to you. Before we get into the nitty gritty of Inbox Zero, I really want to know how you got started on this journey, how you got here. What is Inbox Zero, and why are we talking about this today?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Lots of them.
Journey. Whew. It's been a long journey. Probably not as long as everyone, as some, but I think that I started my business, and my strategy for a long time was just work harder, grind harder, do more stuff, stay up longer, anything that would cause me to suffer more, do more of that, and eventually I'll find a way. And I think some of that's true, and some of that did lead to some success, but it also led to kind of a place where I wasn't able to really build anything beyond myself. It got to a place where I ran out of time, I ran out of energy, I ran out of motivation.
Yeah.
And I figured I had to do something different, right? And so that's kind of where.
Tell us what this business was. What were you building?
I didn't even know in the beginning. I think, I built a practice. I'm a physical therapist. I built a private practice and started it in 2019. And that was, that was my strategy for a long time. I knew I just wanted to build something that helped people. It started with wanting to help my patients. Just wanted to help them feel empowered. Wanted to help them feel like, hey, you can do this. You can get control of this area of your life. And I wanted to be a facilitator of that. And then it transitioned to helping my team. Hey, I want you to be the empowerer, right? I want to build, I've learned how to lead my patients. I want to help you lead your patients, and I want to help you create something really special for other people. Then that morphed into, I want to help clinic owners do this, right? And so I think it's just really been a journey of helping people realize that they're capable, and that just given a little bit of time and resources that they can accomplish anything that they want, and they can help a lot of people along the way. And so now,
in the middle of helping others, you were actually maybe not helping yourself and suffering through a little bit of grind.
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly what that's exactly what happened, right? So it's like
that's what often happens with helpers.
We'll just let Heather answer her own questions.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes I have a ramble.
I'm being interviewed.
That's exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's like a common struggle. You're here to help others. And in the process, you kind of throw yourself under the bus a little bit. But I mean, as is common with founders anyway, like there are, we're starting businesses, tight resources. And so we're pulling things together, being resourceful to get things done. Would you say that that's true about how you were approaching things?
Yeah, I think just a fear mentality of I need it done now, and if I let anything settle for too long, it's gonna break,
Mm-hmm.
and so I need to take action, 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 action. Um, and yeah, holding things together with hustle and emotional energy
Yeah, I hear that
all the
one.
time.
Well,
Yeah.
well, let me ask you this. I mean, that seems to be a part of almost every entrepreneur's journey. Like I know very few, at least when they're going into entrepreneurship for the first time, where they haven't learned these hard lessons, goes like, I have to do it on my own. Like I
Mm-hmm.
have to have my fingers literally in every single thing. And grit is what you flex to versus efficiency because grit's cheaper, like just cash wise,
Right.
than outsourcing. And then it also kind of really ingrains you in the processes and makes you feel like a system of action
Mm-hmm.
versus outsourcing. But I'm curious, like, when does that change for somebody? When you
When
know
do you
that's
hit a
your second
wall?
time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps when is that wall? Yeah.
Well, I can tell you when it changed for me. I think, like Heather mentioned, like you just gotta hit a breaking point, right? You have to realize that either my mentality or my physicality starts to break down, or both. And then eventually, I think you start getting to a place where you start trading things that are no longer worth being traded, like your kids and your family and your health and your integrity and things like that. It's like you have to I mean, you don't have to do anything, but if you want something different, you're kind of forced to. Life has a way of like forcing you to choose a different path, or you're going to just continue down a path that you don't want to. And so I think for me, it was just realizing that like I don't want more of this. I want
Hmm.
I like pieces of what we're doing, but like I don't want more of it. I want to try to go to a different place.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of have to go down that discovery and surround yourself with mentors who can kind of help you see a different path, and help you envision what it might look like for you to go down it. And then you just take a leap,
Mm-hmm.
and that's at least that's how my journey went so far.
Okay. And so then you got to this end philosophy of buying back your time. How can
Yeah.
we buy back our time to become more efficient? Um, why is that time more valuable than this money that we're saving through the sweat equity?
Well, I can tell you my version of that, so I can't tell you if it's
Please.
100% truth, but it's my truth. James Wedmore is another podcast. He runs a podcast called Mind Your Business Podcast. I listened to an episode of his one time, and he said, if you value your money more than your time, let's say if you value your money more than your time, you'll have neither.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But if you value your time more than your money, you'll have an abundance of both. And it's kind of one of those like beliefs that it's like tagline that you put on the wall, but if you look at it long enough, you kind of slowly start to adopt it.
Hmm.
And I think that through it's something that I didn't fully believe or understand in the beginning, but through my experience and as I reflect, what I realized is that the thing that got me here was the amount of bandwidth and energy and effort that I was able to put into it.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was I was out of it. I had no more time, I had no energy, I had no more bandwidth. So the most valuable resource was really me. Was really
Yeah.
the entrepreneur, was the driver.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about it like, if you have a winning racehorse, but that racehorse is sick and underfed and malnourished, like they're never gonna win the race, right?
Mm.
So we end up getting to this place where we're out of time and barely making money, and we have to make a trade.
Yeah.
But when you recognize that without more time and bandwidth, you have no more energy to put into the next thing, or to the next level. And it takes a little bit of a leap where you have to sacrifice some money,
Mm.
even though it's a hard trade-off. You buy back your time, you create more energy and creativity, and you fall in love with your business again, right?
Yeah.
You create a bigger vision for yourself, and then you have something more exciting to hustle and grind towards, and then you actually grow. So that's kind of been like my overarching lesson that I've learned through all of that.
So I'm curious, that whole concept makes sense. It's like it's something you can really attach to and you go, okay, you can see yourself in that description. When I haven't done that, when I have done that, you know, um, the real culprit becomes when you do push too hard, the quality of the work you do drops off. Like your customers are probably the ones who actually feel it the most because that's where bandwidth really nobody knows your bandwidth's out until it impacts somebody else.
Mm.
Um, so I'm curious though, as a physician, how do you diagnose it's coming? Right. I'm curious, like, because the key is to see around the wall. Like, okay, burnout's around the other side of that wall corner right there. How do I know now so I can start making moves? Because I think for individuals who are grit oriented, it's hard to let go of things and they need some transition
Yeah.
time and they need to go evaluate services, solutions, partners, whatever. So I'm curious, leaning into your other life, the ability to diagnose things, like how do you determine that?
Well, I think there's two ways, and, um, that opinion might change in the future, but for now, I feel like people I feel like it depends on the type of person you are. So for me personally, I'm an emotional person, I'm a feeler, like, I can feel things, I feel stress, I can describe my feelings, like, right now, like, I'm in my head kinda trying to describe this colorful language, how that's how I am, that's how my brain works.
Mm.
And so for me personally, I know it's time when I feel it. Like, I'll feel the strain, I feel the stress, I feel that constriction, I feel lack of alignment with who I really wanna be and the type of father that I wanna be, and the thing that's pulling me away from that, I feel pain, quite simply.
Mhm.
I feel pain, and that pain is typically the universe telling me that it's time to initiate some type of process to get out of that pain,
Mhm.
right?
And also there's the question of, are you focusing on the right work? If you're focusing on things that are outside of your gifts that you
Totally.
came here to do, then yeah, maybe it's time to look into how you can outsource that, how you can bring in people to help support so you can focus on those key gifts.
Yeah. I think it kinda brings it back to
Pain.
the other side, which is gonna be that more operational side. So for people
Mm,
who don't have that feeler or visionary mentality or whatever, sometimes it's helpful to, like, have some systems to actually diagnose more objectively, like, what are you spending your time on? How much time are you spending on it every day? What are your goals? We've all heard of the Eisenhower matrix, the urgent and versus important, or Stephen Covey's book. There's a lot
mm,
of time management tools and operational systems that you can commit to that can
mhm.
help you operationalize that decision-making framework. So I think it's a combination of both
Yeah.
that can help you ultimately be more centered around the thing that's most important to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us about Inbox Zero. What are you doing here to solve this problem?
That's a great question, and I think we're a young company, we're still figuring it out, but I can tell you for me, one of the things I'm a practice owner, and,
Mhm.
I don't know how many private practice owners or healthcare leaders or listen to this, but healthcare is hard. Healthcare is hard, it's operationally dense, um, it's like healthcare is hard, right?
Absolutely.
And sometimes our ability to manage the chaos and move initiatives forward becomes constrained by the operational complexity of the business
Mhm.
and the administrative burden of healthcare, right?
Mhm.
And we don't have the margins to hire a Ryan Shapiro and pay him $250,000 a year, and, like, we just don't have the margins,
Mhm.
Just
right?
let me know when
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do.
I'll let you know.
I'll be right
He
here.
can't wait.
Yeah, I'll just I'll
But, like,
make a note of
I
that.
remember being in this place where it's like, man, I'm actually finally creating a little bit of financial freedom where I'm paying my bills, but, like, I wanna go to this next level with my team. I've got a great team behind me.
Mhm.
I can't hire a CFO. I don't have that kinda money.
Yeah.
So I had to start thinking about creative ways to build out that operational capacity without draining the bank, but also
Mhm.
giving me the time and my team the time that they need, and that's where Inbox Zero
Yeah.
was born. I started hiring virtual assistants, uh,
Hmm.
it was very messy in the beginning. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I learned how to build a remote team that
Mm-hmm.
that understood my vision. It was kind of like my external brain, where it's like, here's these people, these elite people, offshore people who have departments and who have clear statistics and KPIs and outcomes, and their
Mm-hmm.
whole job is to move these departments forward. And so I can hire 5 people for the price of 1. And
Mm-hmm.
and that's ultimately what started giving me leverage. And then I started opening up companies and develop partnerships, and it developed into an actual company. And
You got that bandwidth back.
got it back. I got it back. Now I get to work from home, and I just have more freedom in my life because of it. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
super thankful for it.
How are you sleeping at night?
I'm actually in a challenging season right now, but so
Hence the bed behind you.
You see, I'm in a spare bedroom, so it's like I just sold my house. I'm like, it's a little bit chaotic. So right now, not as good, but typically a lot better, right?
Yeah.
Because I get to be much more selective with, like you said, Heather, the things that I try to define my lane and try it really hard to stay in it. Like, let me be really good at 3 or 4 things
Yes.
instead of being good at 5 things or, 100 things,
Yeah.
And that just helps me stay in my zone.
Yeah, I love it. I think that that's been my biggest lesson learned as a founder is we cannot be good at every single thing, and we can't expect ourselves to be good at every single thing. And yeah, we're just asking for failure if we're going to say all these pieces of the business, every functional unit is going to stay right here on my plate. We have got to learn how to move some of those things and not be the bottleneck. So, okay, so now that Inbox Zero is live and you are getting people in place, what is the actual process? Is there a way to think about how much you should spend on a virtual assistant, on getting someone in your corner?
Yeah. So there's a few ways to tackle that question. I think that I'm using this in the realm of healthcare, but you can
Mm-hmm.
apply this across any small business. I think it's important for you to keep an eye on the percentage of your income that you're spending on non non-technician or non-revenue generating labor. Does that make sense? So if you're a plumber, this would be anybody that's not a plumber. If you're a physician, it'd be anybody that's not a physician. These are going to be administrative people, front desk, billers, critical to the business, but not revenue drivers, if you will, right? Or it could be leadership, people who are at that leadership level who kind of split between leader and revenue driver, who kind of play that dual role. The point is you want to keep that percentage kind of understood. And for small businesses and private practices, when that number starts to exceed 15%, you start to really run into profitability issues. And so the easy thing to do there is to hire another person, right? Just hire another person, which may be true, but that doesn't usually pay you very well. The problem that pays you a little bit better is like, how do I become a little more efficient with this problem? How can I not hire maybe a whole nother body or not hire another $50 an hour person, clean up my systems with maybe somebody offshore, and that can help you maintain staffing ratios that are more appropriate. So that answers the spending problem. I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, that definitely answers one of them. And what is the process then? Like, what comes next? How do you kind of organize the work that now moves off of your plate and onto theirs?
So we are a virtual assistant staffing. I can't speak for all agencies, but I know, like most things, the bar is pretty low to be good at it. What we tried to do in the beginning is probably what most agencies do, which is like, hey, here's a virtual assistant. Good luck. Tell us how it works. You know what I mean? We tried that and we had a lot of failure. We beat our heads against the wall and we're like, why are these practice owners not getting it? And the truth is they're overwhelmed. They're stressed out. Like they need help. Like if you know what I mean? Like if it was that easy, then, whatever. So we had to develop something different.
Okay.
And so what we wanted to do was really clarify. What we have to do is go through a discovery with that business owner or that team and understand like, hey, what exactly is the bottleneck for you right now?
Mm.
What are the top 3 primary constraints in this workflow that are really impacting your ability to like reach your goal or create the outcome that you're looking for? And what does success look like in this role? So we have to get really clear. So Ryan, you are in the HR world, so you know all about recruiting. Like, if we don't develop that ideal client profile, if we don't understand exactly who this person is, what their objective is in this role, then we're just guessing, right? So we want to predefine what that is and find that right person who not only fits that criteria, but has the skills and the relevant experience to be successful in that role, and who has a documented history of like, I've helped others achieve this outcome. I'm
Yeah.
credentialed, right? So that's the first part. The second part is we have to bridge the gap between owner and VA, especially in a virtual world, because this owner has all these expectations of like, hey, this is what I want you to do. I'm from America. This is how we do things.
Mm-hmm.
The VA we typically source in the Philippines. They're like, I want to help, but I don't understand what the heck you're trying to say to me, right?
Yeah.
Because I speak English too, but it's my second language and I'm not understanding exactly what you're trying to say, right? And so bridging that gap is the next piece, which we do that in the form of building out an actual SOP library for that role.
You do that on your side.
We do that with the owner.
With the owner. Okay, cool.
And with technology, video recording, transcription, it's like it's not that hard to build out SOPs.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
So we bridge that gap with that SOP library, which is going to be that bridge between those two. Now that VA says like, hey, owner, I understand you. It's documented, it's recorded, and I understand exactly what that outcome is. And I know how to deliver it cleanly every single day. Right. And then from there, which is the third step, which is just layer in the accountability framework. Here's the KPI dashboard that's reported every day. Here's what good looks like. Here's what bad looks like. And here's the meeting cadence where you actually come in, you report your KPIs and get a little bit better every week. And if you do that, you can marry people together and you can create a relationship. So that's kind of how we do that.
So I'm curious because it's very logical. Like, this is what we're going to do. It feels like traditional sourcing concepts: inspect the skills, do the ability, make sure you establish a good communication framework, KPIs that, like you described, an American employer, business owner can attach themselves to. But it still seems like, and I'd love your perspective on this, that this concept of an employee elsewhere in the country, it seems like a great idea. The operational efficiency, if you pick above 15% of non-revenue generating,
labor costs,
you're tilting in the wrong direction. But they're still holding people up. Like, people still can't wrap their brains around working with somebody elsewhere, particularly in a virtual environment.
Yeah,
that hands-on feel. Like, how do you get people over that conversation? Like, or not even how do you get them over? Like, how should they think differently? And what are they really losing outside of cash that they maybe just don't understand?
That's a great question. And I don't even know if it's one that I've ever answered. And so like, I have the answers kind of formulating as I hear you talking. So there's three things.
We can do it in real time.
There's three things that come to mind that are worth knowing. Number one, the Filipino country is incredible. Like, they're like the most loyal, friendly, harmony-driven people that you will learn to love if you would just give them a second and actually be interested in learning a little bit about their culture. There's a ton to appreciate there that I think you're kind of missing out. You don't fully understand it when you call that insurance company and that Filipino on the other line answers and you're kind of in a hurry and you're like, get off the phone. And you kind of build that negative rapport with that person.
Right. Well, and let's be clear. Anytime you're calling an airline or IT or insurance, you're frustrated about something. You're never calling because it's good news.
And you want somebody who knows my stuff right now, right?
Right now. So
you kind of build, they're put in a bad position, right? And so that stigma lives there. But the truth is, they're incredible. They're mothers, they're fathers, they're just really great people who want to serve and help you, build a great team. So that's number one. Number two is you don't have to hire overseas. Like, I'm not saying inbox zero is the right thing for everyone. Like, you don't have to do that. Like, this isn't a do it or not. This is like, if you can hire local talent at an affordable rate and keep them staffed and keep them productive, and that serves you, do that.
Mm-hmm.
Most companies, especially in today's economic environments, are not doing that well, especially small business owners. And unfortunately, those who pivot will survive. So eventually, you may find yourself as an owner experiencing constraints that are going to have to force you to find ways to adapt. Just like I did whenever I had to figure out, like, I got to get my time back. Like, you're going to have to learn a new skill.
Yeah.
Which brings me to number 3, which is, this is a skill. This is not just plug a VA into your current system and everything's going to work. You as the owner are going to have to take ownership of learning how to manage somebody remotely and documenting your SOPs. Dang it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to learn that. Just like you learn technology or you learn any other thing, right? You have to learn this skill. And so I think it's a combination of those 3 things. Like, I think the biggest lift is not understanding the Filipino country and how much there is to appreciate there, and not being willing to fully take ownership of learning that skill of managing somebody remote who doesn't speak English as their primary language. I think if you just get over that and just be like, you know what, this is something that I'm going to learn. And then lastly, maybe there's a 4th, Ryan, which is, there's a lot of people having tremendous success with this. Like, people are winning doing this. So this isn't a novel concept. And so if you find yourself struggling, it might be worth exploring.
Yeah,
well,
I think.
So here's where I'm gonna go, because like I like the concept of like it is a skill set. If you claim to be a good business owner, business leader, I can lead my people here. What's preventing you from doing it there?
Yeah,
well,
totally.
it's just mindset. You can if you're willing to teach, develop, lead these employees, why wouldn't you do this? Unless your mindset is like, they're not the same as them. And what I'm hearing you say is they are. They happen to be sitting elsewhere, and they are just as capable. They still require the same human capital support, right? Training, leadership, development, guidance, documentation. So you're just going to get them at, like you described, 1/5 of the rate, and that's what you're getting. That's the operational efficiency.
And it's not. Sorry, Heather. I've got something really important I want to hit. It's not just about the money, though. Money's great, right? But like, I have a team of, Filipinos. They work for me, and they do some sales work across a few different companies. But I can get on my chat with them, and I can say, guys, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you. And it's just like, the love that they have for me and the appreciation that they have for the opportunity with me is like so awesome to be a part of, so like, in America, we're kind of spoiled a little bit. We're kind of entitled in a lot of ways. We get, for whatever reason, we get entitled, right? It's not like that in the Philippines. Like, the opportunity that you offer for families is incredible, and the appreciation they have to work with you is awesome. So it's a real culture builder as well, is what I'm trying to say.
And I think that gets back into the question I wanted to ask you just a second ago. I think a lot of people are going to say, why don't I just save time and money with AI tools? Why don't I just build out a system through, Claude or Cowork or, all the different tools that are available to us now? And I think the real magic of this is the human element. Is knowing that someone has had prior history working with people in the exact same field as you, who have, led them through success and through challenge and, up again. And knowing that someone's family in a region of the world is being impacted because they're able to do valuable, meaningful work connected to your business. I think, with the integration of AI and all the things that we do, it's a question of where is the right place to use it, and if you can use it to develop these SOPs and, to prepare the work that, human beings can do to assist you in the meaningful work you're trying to do in your own company. It's where the magic is.
You can totally build out AI. Like, hey, go for it. If there's some workflows that you can automate with AI, absolutely. there are going to be things AI can't touch yet.
Mm.
Right. And so I will say that I have noticed that the virtual assistants now their capacity of what they can handle has elevated massively because of AI.
Yeah.
So yeah, I highly recommend it. But I also would encourage you to look at it it's not like AI or VA. I think it's both.
Right.
Right. I think it's your VA is the entry point into using AI, right? Because once you equip them with Claude or Claude Cowork or whatever you want to do with them, like your ability to leverage it becomes exponentially greater. So again, it kind of goes back to, what do you want to do? Do you want to spend your time in front of a computer, plugging chatting away at ChatGPT, or do you want to have a team that's doing that for you?
Yeah.
And so both are right.
Yeah.
Well, and that connects a lot with, I think, how people want it to feel. Like our organization, we categorize ourselves as a tech-enabled professional services firm. We provide a human-driven solution, that ability, that intuition, the ability to look around the corner. But at every single turn, where we can, we will automate and access efficiency through tech, and thus tech enable, but it's still people driving these systems, and you need good people, and you need that interaction with people. And, like after I'm done recording this podcast, like I'm going to go back to the office because we have people there and I like seeing them, and there's an energy that's derived from that. And that can happen in a Zoom too. It doesn't, but like, because they are real people and you can interact with them. So I think that there is going to be this flex to automate, and absolutely, like, you should find those ways where you can empower people to do more in other categories, but don't step away from the option to access talent and really good people, and just what you described in the Philippines.
Yep.
Yeah. What are some pitfalls? What are some things that that entrepreneurs are making when thinking about time or trying to integrate a system? Where if someone has tried this before and they're like, man, I really tried to pull an assistant to help me and it just didn't work and it was too much work. What are they doing wrong? What could help them to, have a really strong start here?
I would say, we built our process in a way that addresses, and what we believe are the primary pitfalls, right? I mean, we didn't build our process because somebody told us. We built it through failure, right? So I think very, very first thing is you have to get clear on who this person is. You have to get clear on that ideal client profile, or the ideal candidate profile. Like, who is this person? What are their skill sets specifically, and what defined outcome do you actually need to see from them in order for this to be a win objectively?
And then you have to utilize them, right? Like actually delegate, move things off your plate.
Correct. That's number one. The second thing is, there's not a whole lot of things in business or in life that don't get better if you front end the work, meaning do the foundational work that is critical to long-term success. And it's like, if you can delay that gratification a little bit longer and not just go back to work and go back to your old habits, but actually spend time with your new employee, right? Read the SOPs with them, practice, give them feedback, and actually have a full onboarding and training process that we designed for you. If you do that, you are setting yourself up for a win, a really great relationship, at least for the first 12 months. You know what I mean? So like, if you can do those two things, just basics, Ryan, like the standard basics of onboarding a good person, I think you're going to win.
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
Ryan, I'm curious, in the PEO space, what do you see? How do you see this mindset coming into play, being beneficial? Where have you seen it worked or not?
You're referring to
Of finding a virtual assistant and moving some,
Yeah, it's a new iteration of outsourcing. First there was payroll, and, a layer of HR outsourcing that existed. Then it converted into many different forms, whether it be technology driven, people driven, PEO. So at the end of the day, people are trying to find more efficient ways, because whether they know it or not, whether they cross into that 15%, labor costs, or just, kind of my favorite Marvel quote, like no amount of money ever bought a second of time type thing, you're trying to find it back. People have sought outsourcing. So I think every layer of outsourcing, as I've looked through or I've observed the history of outsourcing, particularly in the people space, there are those quick advancers, those people who leap out and start doing it. And Adam represents that. There's laggards who wait as long as they possibly can, either because they're uncomfortable with it, it doesn't align with their values, or they don't have the capital to do it. They would like to do it, but perhaps they can't afford the ability to outsource, which is kind of a little paradoxical at times relative to time. And I think, virtual assistants are that new thing, right? It's not so new, but it's new enough to some people that they're now getting comfortable with it and testing it. We run into organizations all the time that are now, maybe 2-3 years ago, had never touched virtual assistant, EOR, global EOR, trying to access talent in different ways. And now we're seeing people move towards it faster. So it's a super exciting time, because I think COVID and the remote work environment showed us that we could work differently than we ever had before. It kind of forced us into examining the pros of outsourcing in this way and working in a very different environment. So we're seeing more people gravitate towards it, and thus HR companies are getting more interested in it. They're partnering with organizations like Adams and other virtual assistants and LATAM hiring solutions and things like that, because it is becoming a much more efficient and cost-effective way to do really good work.
Yeah. So Adam, if you were to sit in a room with yourself as you were starting your first business, early days, what would you say to yourself? What would be your advice?
It would be the hardest thing ever, and it's okay to pick one thing and just stick with that for a little bit. I have a restless personality. It's kind of my saboteur, if you will. So I tend to wanna do it all right now. And business is already overwhelming enough. It doesn't need a restless, crazy person driving the bus. And it's okay to say no to seemingly important things so that you can say yes to the right thing.
Yes.
Right. And I think it does take a little bit of a pause and a little bit of clarity. But if you just sit in a room with a pencil and a pad and you take a few deep breaths, maybe try a little meditation or yoga or go for a walk, and you come away with your priority, whatever that is, and just go all in on that and learn to say no to everything else that's occupying your energy, I think you'll make a lot more progress and be happier than trying to juggle 1,000 things at one time.
Yeah.
So that's a lesson I'm still trying to learn. But like, even back in the day, whenever I didn't have the resources I have now, I know how hard that is I resonate with that, because I know how hard it was to get my first business off the ground. Just want to encourage the people who might be in that spot that it's okay to just do one thing at a time.
Yeah, I love that quote. Say no to doing all the things and focus on the right thing. Is that how you said it?
That's good enough.
Love that. Good. Close enough.
You're in good company, my friend, because I suffered with that at the beginning, still do to this day.
Totally.
And fortunately, I have really wonderful people in our organization who say no for me or tell me no. Like, they're just basically like, that's a terrible idea. It's good that we're getting these out of the way early or late in the business, but it is a real struggle. I mean, it's a thing. It's a challenge. So, thinking about it the way you described it and kind of that slogan on the wall earlier it would be a helpful tip for anybody who struggles with that.
For sure.
What's one thing that people listening this week could do to buy back a bit of their time?
Are you asking for a sales pitch?
Go to Inbox Zero. Here to go.
That's right.
Type me your email.
Are we doing an unpaid plug here? What are we?
Yeah,
No.
No, I'm gonna give you describe the exercise that some of you guys might be familiar with it, but it was a mentor of mine told me, he calls it the high energy, low energy exercise. Okay. Which is in my opinion, the simplest way to start defining your priorities, right? Because buying back your time is really just about doing less of the stuff that you shouldn't be more than it is about, right? So how do we define what we get off of our plate is really the answer that we should continuously be asking ourselves. So you're going to stop and go to a quiet room for an hour, and you're going to like be alone and turn your phone off.
That's insanely hard.
I know I know, Heather, it's crazy. Like, you're going to turn it off. Okay.
By myself in a room.
You're going to get a pen and you're going to write down 2 columns, high energy, low energy, with a line in the middle, right? High energy activity is going to be the things that I love, the things that I want to do more of, the things that I'm excited about, the things that help me feel lighter and more free and more of that visionary kind of tapped into that higher energy period. That's your high energy list. Okay. Low energy, all the things that drain you, the things that are urgent, that are like constantly pinging and dinging and robbing you of sanity and peace, right? That's your low energy list. If you can just make your next 30 days about, I'm going to find ways to get that stuff off of my plate. That's your project. I'm going to create freedom in my life by delegating all of this low energy stuff. You will be so happy. It's going to cost you a little bit of time and a little bit of money for about 90 days, but you will make more money. You're going to grow your company. Everything's going to get better if you just commit to that exercise. So I'd recommend doing that.
Yeah, I feel like it needs a revisit, even for me. I need to go back and look at that list. So thanks for that, Adam.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So glad you were here with us today, and really just excited that we got to have this conversation, talk about the real deal about, having limited bandwidth as a founder and also needing to do everything. This is a really healthy exercise for everyone to do. So thanks for joining us, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, Heather.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Adam. It's great to see you, buddy.
Yep.
All right. Have a good one. Until next time.